Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Lightning storms ignited 3 small wildfires on the Wenatchee River Ranger District over the past week. If you've been waiting for a chance to get rid of some glass bottles, now's your chance. Sunny with seasonal temperatures the next couple of days, and then the heat is on this weekend. The Baird Springs fire, which had residents in the Trinidad and Crescent Bar area scrambling last night under level 3 evacuation notices, was downgraded as of noon today to a level 2. The fire broke out about 2:30 p.m. Monday near Baird Springs Road and has now consumed an estimated 2,400 acres amid high winds and dry brush. The blaze threatened homes, orchards, and an agricultural warehouse. Highway 28 was closed yesterday, or I should say last night, due to firefighting activity and also with drifting smoke, but reopened to traffic at around midnight. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Drivers who attempted to circumnavigate the Baird Springs fire using Highway 2 encountered a different kind of hazard yesterday. Flash flooding reduced the highway between Moses Coulee Road and Route 172 to one lane with single-lane alternating traffic. The State Department of Transportation says the sudden heavy rains washed debris across roughly 9 miles of roadway and collapsed the pavement in some places. The lane restriction went into place just after 4 p.m. on Monday. The DOT says it will remain in effect until further notice. Lightning storms ignited 3 small wildfires on the Wenatchee River Ranger District over the past week. The Airplane Lake Fire, located in the White River Drainage and Glacier Peak Wilderness, is being confined within natural occurring boundaries for resource benefit due to its inaccessible location. The U.S. Forest Service says they are continually evaluating the situation and will adjust strategy as needed. A 2-acre fire located on the west side of Jim Hill Mountain had 8 repellers and a helicopter dropping water assigned to it as of yesterday. Lastly, the 1/10 of an acre Snowall Creek fire, located in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness, was knocked out after being staffed with 4 repellers. The rate of crime in the Wenatchee Valley increased from 2021 to 2022, that according to the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. For every 1,000 residents, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office dealt with 15 reported crimes against persons, property, or society. That's up from 14.7 last year. Wenatchee Police had a rate of 71.2 crimes, while East Wenatchee Police saw 51.7 criminal cases. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies had a rate of 22.7 cases per 1,000. That's compared to just over 19 the year before. The increases reflect a rise in categories like simple assault, petty theft, and burglary. There were 3 murders in Wenatchee and Chelan County last year, compared to 2 in 2021. When we come back, 2 Okanagan County organizations have been selected to partner with the Washington State Department of Commerce to drive rural economic growth. If you've been waiting for a chance to get rid of some glass bottles, now's your chance. We'll tell you when and where. And it's almost time for Osprey chicks to take flight. And when they do, they might be lifting off from platforms built by the Chelan PUD. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
2 Okanagan County organizations have been selected to partner with the Washington State Department of Commerce to drive rural economic growth. Room 1 and TwistWorks will pursue what Commerce calls an innovation cluster, where formalized industry-led organizations work together to drive innovation, overcome industry-wide barriers, access new market opportunities, and attract talent and capital. Room 1 and TwistWorks will receive $50,000 grants and will participate in a 1-year-long strategic guidance and technical assistance program to develop an early-stage rural innovation cluster strategy. In Okanagan County, Room 1 will work to develop a stronger localized food economy that will create jobs, increase wages, and boost demand for local and regional foods. Meanwhile, TwistWorks will be focused on supporting innovative businesses and new industries to help the area address the effects and causes of climate change on a local scale. Well, if you've been waiting for a chance to get rid of some glass bottles, now's your chance. In an event sponsored by ZWA and Rotary Clubs of the Wenatchee Valley, folks can recycle glass food and beverage containers this Saturday. Organizers are asking for the bottles and jars to be rinsed out and brought upright in boxes, preferably wine boxes or with similar dividers if possible. That prevents chipping and breaking. Only food and beverage containers will be accepted. The event begins at 10 a.m. and will run until 2 p.m. this Saturday, July 15th at Grace Lutheran Church in Wenatchee. It's almost time for Osprey chicks to take flight, and when they do, they might be lifting off from platforms built by the Chelan PUD. Osprey are protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which prohibits anyone from moving an active nest, and when a nest is started in an unsafe location, Chelan PUD builds the standalone platform to provide a safer nesting option. Osprey nest on tall structures and tend to gravitate towards power poles, which can be unsafe for the birds and also increase risks of fire and power outages. The platforms stand up to 65 feet tall, and this spring there were 56 platforms built, a major growth from when the program began in 2006, and fewer than 10 were built. In recent years, Canada geese who lay their eggs weeks before osprey return from their annual migration. They've tried to overtake the platforms, but the PUD has learned to work around them by placing covers over osprey nests until they arrive in early April. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins continues his series of interviews with candidates up for mayor in Leavenworth. Seasonal summer weather is expected tomorrow and Thursday before we see temperatures, really get hot by the end of this week and this weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Are you caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
Castle Rock International is the Northwest premier real estate agency for large acreage properties, farms and ranch land, lodging and resorts, and other distinctive commercial real estate. Professional, knowledgeable, and discreet, Castle Rock International has the listings and the buyers you have been looking for. Contact John McNamara at Castle Rock International today, or visit their website for more information on this award-winning company.
It's a three-way mare's race in the Bavarian village of Leavenworth. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFe's Jefferson Robbins sat down with all three candidates, including the incumbent mayor, and asked him what would be their priority projects if the voters choose them to lead the popular tourist town.
We have the fourth worst streets in the entire state of Washington. They're crumbling and falling apart, so that would definitely be a priority. We have a real problem with excessive speeding, especially in school zones. I've written 4 letters to the mayor and city council, 2 of which were signed by multiple neighbors of mine who share the same concern. And we're really not getting much help from City Hall in this regard. Now, to be fair, new Public Works Director Tom Wacholder has tried to do a few things, but it's a significant problem. And it's a school zone, and there are others throughout the city where we have this speeding problem. And I fear that someone's going to get hurt or killed. You got young kids on bikes trying to get to school, and you got people zooming 45 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. We also have a real issue, as I know you do down here too, with these altered, unmuffled vehicles that make the most obnoxious noise. And you know, this is a problem that has been enabled because there hasn't really been any action to try and stop it.
The high density housing. There are some that support that, but it's a very, very small percentage. The significant majority of community members strongly oppose that. And it's been in play now for, well, it's been in the motion for about 3 years. It's been in play for a couple of years, and it's an absolute disaster of what we see. If you drive around the communities, we have very large structures going on very small lots. All of the trees are removed, and I mean every tree from the property is removed. Our small mountain community is becoming this, you know, it's on the way to this metropolis. It's not the small mountain community that we all moved there for. We need to protect that. And so a big divisive issue that's happening right now is this high density housing. And the focus on that has been so linear that it doesn't seem to matter how many community members come forward and say, you've got to stop this, please stop this. It's no longer just a request. The city has community members, the majority of them, has actually been to the point of begging to have this stopped and slowed down, and so we can figure this out and become more balanced. And it's just been ignored.
One of the big ones is the purchase of the Osborne, former, and now we're, you know, again, COVID has set back a lot of our intentions and kind of postponed some of those things, but we're right now studying the playground itself and replacing that playground and ball fields and things, and I know there's going to be some kind of smaller footprint community space there, but how that gets defined, we've recently been in conversations with the library about maybe taking some of that over there, get them out of City Hall, which we need to expand. We've got some people in City Hall that are 3 in a room, and we just, you know, we're growing in our needs, and so it might kind of be one of those places where it could be a win-win and get them out of there. You know, it's not an ideal spot for the library. It's not in the residential as much as it's close into that commercial and the parking and all that. So, you know, we're just in the opening discussion stages of that, but that would also give us a way to have some community spaces and community rooms as well.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Tuesday was a good one. Nice and mild out there. In fact, we're about normal as far as temperatures go, and it was a nice day today. No thunderstorm activity, and boy, yesterday was sure wild, that's for sure. Our Orondo Sky-Fi camera looking back down the Columbia. There's Turtle Rock in your shot center screen, and as I mentioned, just a few clouds out there today. Temperatures about where they should be for this time of year, but that's all going to change. I think we'll see another day of seasonal temperatures on Wednesday, maybe a chance for some rain. Talking about you folks up in Omak, maybe the Winthrop and Twisp areas could see a little shower activity. Thursday, we're going to be approaching 90 degrees with sunny skies, and boy, by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, hot and stifling hot on Saturday and Sunday with high temperatures near 100. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. But today, as I mentioned, almost normal out there. 86 our unofficial high, 87 is where we should be. Same goes for our low temperatures, 62 this morning, 61 is normal. Our record high, 104 degrees. That was set back in 2002. Our record low, 48 degrees, excuse me, and that was in 1981. We did pick up 2 100ths more. We talked about 7 100ths yesterday, so that's 9 hundredths, almost a tenth of an inch in the past 24 hours. That gets us now to 3.20 inches for the year, but we're still almost an inch and a quarter below where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise this morning, 5:16, and sets tonight at 8:57. All right, let's get you into your hump day Wednesday temperatures. As I mentioned, a lot like today. It might be a little bit breezier tomorrow. 90 degrees for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 89 in Quincy, 87 for Wenatchee, also Eniat. A little bit warmer for Chelan and up into Omak. I think we will see the windiest weather in this general area as we get into tomorrow. 82 the high temperature for Lake Wenatchee. Tonight, we can expect mostly clear skies. Might be a little bit breezy tonight as well. We'll see low temperatures mainly into those lower 60s. Boy, not many clouds around, just some high clouds for us overnight tonight. So very comfortable in those low 60s. For Wednesday, sunny. We talked about it being just a little bit breezy right here in central Washington. Really nothing to be concerned about as far as wind. Seasonal high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Enjoy it because we are starting to warm up as we get into Thursday. Here's our high pressure, and it's really dragging some warm Pacific air and bringing it up into Washington. We're going to see a high temperature Thursday around 90 degrees, and it is just really going to warm up as we get into the end of the week. Elongated ridge of high pressure over the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be hot Friday with highs in the mid-90s, and yeah, we are going up from there as we get you into the upcoming weekend. Saturday, sunny and even hotter. Here's that high pressure to the south, so it's bringing all of that warm air into our area, and that trend will continue. High temperatures with sunny skies near 100. Look at the coloring red all over the western U.S. We are all going to be hot this weekend, and that includes our end of the weekend on Sunday. Sunny and hot. Highs again near 100 degrees for Sunday. And then by Monday to start our work week off, a little bit of relief. Low pressure to our east, still that big ridge of high pressure to the west. That'll kick up the breezy conditions a little bit on Monday, so a cool down is expected, but not much. We're going to talk high temperatures Monday, still in the lower 90s. Take a look now at your 7-day forecast. 62 overnight tonight. Tomorrow, almost identical today, just a little bit windier. 87 for a high, sunny and beautiful on Thursday at 90 degrees. And then the heat is on as we get into Friday. 94 with sunshine, and look at those temperatures Saturday and Sunday. We could very well reach 100 degrees, especially on Sunday. And then by Monday, sunny, a little bit cooler and breezy. High temperature on Monday, 93 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
So, how's Evan?
Well, he's all grown up now, but I worry about him.
So many dangers in the world. COVID, the environment, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, I hear opioid misuse is on the rise.
I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
This might help. GetTheFactsRx.com. There's a whole section on how to talk about opioids with your family.
Offer support, not judgment. Cool.
Talk to your family about the dangers of opioids. Visit GetTheFactsRx.com.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Way swung on a fly ball. Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is back on the NCWLIFE channel. Join us Monday, July 17th as the Apple Sox host the Bend Elks. Coverage is brought to you by Apple Valley Honda, Confluence Health, JDSA Law, Mary Maids, Mini Blinds and more, Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. Your television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel. Julio Rodriguez did not win the home run derby last night at T-Mobile Park, but he did set a record. The Seattle Mariners center fielder ousted Pete Alonso in the first round of the derby by hitting a record 41, count them, 41 home runs. Julio said it was a lot of fun, but he had no idea he set a record until the post-derby press conference.
It was electric, just like the fact that we were out here and the whole crowd was into it. And they were supporting me, all that. I feel like it meant the world for me. I really enjoyed it, and I hope they enjoyed it too.
Hey, Julio, when did you find out that you set a record in the first round?
Did I?
That right now is now when you're finding out?
Yeah.
How do you feel? You set a record for the most home runs in a single round in the Derby.
That's pretty good. I'll take it. That was the opportunity, basically the first opportunity that I had. I wanted to live in the moment and kind of be able to give a show to the Mariners fans and just kind of give my all. And for that second round, I was just, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I feel like your mind is there, but your body is not. That's the best way to explain it. It definitely was really good, you know, just to be able to talk with them, talk about baseball. And he told me to catch, before the derby, he told me to catch the ball a little bit out front, and that's what I did in that first round. Really excited because I know they're gonna keep bringing the energy, and I know how this fan base is. So I'm excited to see them again tomorrow.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. beat out Julio in the semifinals and edged Randy Arozarena in the finals to win the Derby. Guerrero matched his dad's efforts to win the title. He did so back in 2007. How about that? Julio Rodriguez, Luis Castillo, and George Kirby will represent the Mariners in tonight's All-Star game. All three were added as replacements. The game is underway right now on Fox TV. The Wenatchee Apple Sox head north of the border to begin a 6-game road trip in West Coast League play tonight. Wenatchee will send Quincy Vassar to the mound in Nanaimo to face the Night Owls. Apple Sox own the best record in the WCL's North Division, while Nanaimo is off to a hot start for the second half. We had a chance to catch up and get a little preview with the Apple Sox broadcaster Joel Norman yesterday before the team headed out of town.
Wenatchee Apple Sox, 6 games in Canada, 3 in Nanaimo beginning tonight, 3 in Victoria following this. It's a critical road trip for an Apple Sox team, Joel Norman. That is all things considered after the weekend sweep, playing pretty good baseball.
Best record in the West Coast League. Just unfortunately not able to get that first half playoff spot, but season ends today. If the Apple Sox were to advance to the North Division Championship game, they'd have home field. And I think that's been the big motivation that the coaching staff has talked about, where you're not going to get the top seed in the first round, but you can have home field advantage in the second round if you have the best overall record compared to everyone else in your division. So a lot of meaningful baseball to be played ahead. Frankly, this team hasn't accomplished anything yet, and there's a lot of work to be done, but there's a lot to be smiling and happy about.
Ironically enough, even though they didn't win the first half title, they now have the best record in the WCL North, because I think maybe what happened in Port Angeles last week kind of maybe put a little fire under their rear ends, because they came right out and showed their mettle on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I think sometimes you need a reminder, just to be humbled, something like that, grounded a little bit, and maybe that's what that series in Port Angeles was. You know, Dan, I think it's cliche to say it, but I'm watching those games, and I didn't feel like at any point either one of those the Sox were going to lose, and that's baseball. You're not going to win every single night. You can have these long win streaks here and there, but eventually you're going to get humbled and you're going to lose some games you don't think you should. And I think that's how we felt about Port Angeles. And then it was about channeling that frustration and taking it out over the weekend against Kamloops, because maybe part of that's due to because Kamloops could have helped the Apple Sox get into the playoffs. Now I'm thinking about it too. If they had beaten Bellingham once, Wenatchee wins the first half. So maybe some of that frustration was channeled in the right way then.
We're going to lose our big power-hitting first baseman. He's already gone. He's heading home. Easton Edmondson, so there goes 7. He led the league in home runs with 7, near the top in RBIs. That's a big bat that's disappearing. He deserves a break. I'm all for it. I get it. Yeah. He needs to go home and take a rest from baseball. What's going to happen with our first base position and all that offense going away?
Yeah, for starters, an incredible season for Easton Edmondson. Tied for 3rd in a single season in Apple Sox history in home runs with 7. He'd hit a slump in recent weeks, though, and I think when you see guys dramatically drop off the way that he did, it's not at all meant to be, distasteful to say, but I think that's a time where you say, let's shut him down. That's the right call. He's tired. He played a lot this spring. He starts school at the beginning of August. Go see your family, get some time off. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're losing our number 3 hitter and our most played position player to this point, but he'd had a couple of tough weeks, Dan. So I think it's a good time to really give him a break here, let him shut it down, and also see some other guys. I think fans really haven't gotten a full look at MJ Sweeney yet. This is the son of Mike Sweeney. If you're a Mariners fan or if a baseball fan from the 90s and 2000s, you should know who that is. And this kid's incredible. He's an incoming freshman at Texas, 6'6", Dan. We've seen him hit a home run in non-league play. I'm going to bet he's going to hit a couple here in league play coming up, because he's got the right swing. Once he feels like he gets the timing with the pitches, he's going to really start to cash in.
Nanaimo is the hottest team in the league. They've won 6 in a row going into tonight's game with the Apple Sox. Give us a quick little, before we cut you loose, give us a quick little scouting report on Nanaimo.
Oh, real good ball club. They're flying under the radar right now. They're winning games I think people were surprised by after the year they had last year, but it's such a good story for the West Coast League, because it's one thing to have a good expansion season, but it's another to build off of having a tough first year and then come out that second year and maybe surprise some people so much. So such a great story. They're going to be a tough opponent this week. We're going to be some returning players from last year, but a lot of times you don't really know what you're getting into that first time, because teams change their roster so much. So I'm curious to see what they present, because I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was last year when the Sox came in and pretty much had their way with the bats.
Apple Sox in Nanaimo tonight, tomorrow, and the following day, and then 3 in Victoria before they come home for 12 home games in 15 days. First pitch tonight at 6:35, and you can listen to Joel on the call on Sunny FM.
We'll have more with Joel and Quincy Vassar tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, there is only one game played Monday in the West Coast League, and it was a non-league contest. Andy Miller was 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBI to lead Springfield over Cascade Collegiate Showcase team by a final of 11-1. Here's the latest standings for the West Coast League's North Division as we head into the second half of the season. Nanaimo, as we mentioned, off to a good start at 4-0. Wenatchee is a game back at 3-1. Victoria and Kelowna are both a game and a half back at 4-3. Port Angeles is 2 games back at 2-2. And Bellingham, they're off to a struggling start here for the second half, the team that beat Wenatchee for that first half title. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, it's Apple Sox baseball. The second half is well underway. The Apple Sox are playing good, but Joel, Canada, Nanaimo, Victoria, 2 good teams on a 6-day, 6-game road trip.
Yeah, 2 teams currently in the playoff picture. If the season ends today, the Apple Sox are playing Victoria in the first round. So this is kind of a mini playoff preview for Wenatchee and a big test for them midway through this season.
And the local guy from Brewster, a left-hander who throws strikes, we like that. Quincy Vassar will be joining us as well. Apple Sox baseball on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.